All right, we're here for round two, Planechase Mega Draft. We got Jesse here, who's got a pretty interesting teamer deck. So we saw his pool was very very heavy green, and he touched into red for some gold cards, touching into blue here for probably mostly the card in his hand, Kiora Best the Sea God, and Sawyer we saw in the last hour with his white black deck removal, small creatures, some life gain, and yeah, this is in round two here. So, what's Sawyer got in his hand right now?
Yeah, so after playing this card that came in very clutch last game, Ugin's Conjurant, he's got an Arrestor's Zeal, a Helad's Pilgrim, which tutors an aura, befriending the Moths, and Grasping Thrall, which can come down if he draws one more land before turn 5.
Okay, so fine little hand here. Yeah, Ugin's Conjurant just like good on turn two, good on turn 8, where we saw it last time. Yeah, so Jesse's got a bunch of pretty nice cards here, though he will. He does not have a creature to play this turn, so it looks like he's gonna fall behind a bit on board. He has a Greater Tanuki, which he can use to ramp him. Looks like he's going to discard this Invigorating Hot Spring. I think his plan is just, next turn he can start playing 4/4s. He has Pima Outrider and Outland Boar. He has Tanuki, which can ramp him, and then hopefully in a couple turns, Kiora Best the Sea God if he's still around after that.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
something
that's the
to
game
hard
plan.
round.
Game plan is survive, get some 4/4s in play, don't fall too far behind, and take over the game with that Kiora Best the Sea God. So yeah, he is going to be down on life here because um, he's going to ramp here. He's going to get his second blue. So he's going to untap.
No,
He is going to have two creatures in play here from the Modern Age, and now whichever card he chooses to play. Looks like Pima. Pima can make
so of note.
two bodies or 1/4/4, whichever he chooses.
Note, sorry, did pick up a Follow of Lord Kondo, which unfortunately is not an answer to the Kiora if it ever gets to that, because the Kraken is hexproof and it only hits creatures.
Yeah, but Kiora is still 2 turns away, and another land is needed. He does not have the seventh land in hand right now.
Yeah.
But basically what Jesse can do is he can just throw some creatures in play. They have power, they have toughness. They're gonna hopefully get in the way and get him to the point where he can deploy that crazy bomb.
Twisted Embrace. The Twisted Embrace is shown because it was tutored, so
Yeah.
he is
So
taking down
Jesse
his
knows
creatures.
whatever he's sending out there is gonna get killed.
Good. A good use of Follow of Lord Kondo seems to be what Sawyer's contemplating right now.
Yeah, so he could
Can get rid of the
Twist and Embrace, more mana efficient. Fall of Lord Conda, maybe a bit of a better card overall. Offers you a little bit more.
Now
This
hold
is
on a second. That second part of Follow Lord Kondo would actually get back the permanence if they were stolen by Kiora. Of course, he doesn't know that's coming.
if yeah, I imagine that's not too much of a concern here. Um, yeah, so Sawyer does obviously, they don't know each other's decks. They haven't seen, we did. Sawyer was able to watch the back half of Jesse's match after his round. But we did not see it from Jesse's side. So we only saw the cards that he casted. We didn't see his whole deck. But looking at it here, we know he's playing Teamer, but deep into green. I think he realizes he has to make a 1/1 here just to. So I guess he could have played. I suppose he could have played the Mimic first. That would have given him an extra counter on one of the creatures.
Named Elf. So yeah,
Yeah,
use his
the thing is, he could have played it first and named Elf, and then the Pima Outrider would be
yeah.
larger. Yeah, so Matak Mimic is not a lord in the sense of it gives a +1/+1 while it's in play. It gives the creatures counters when they enter. So a little bit different than a lot of the normal, what we call lord creatures that, choose a creature type or whatever creature type it says, get +1/+1. It's a little different. So here comes
Perhaps
the
Jesse was
Moth.
anticipating the embrace.
Yeah. I mean, he could have also named
Interesting.
Servo and made a 2/2 Servo, but
That's
either
true.
way, future elves, if he draws them, will enter with +1 counters. But I think his concern is what's on the board now, if he's going to draw an elf.
Oh, something else just came up. Aviary mechanic. Does that only bounce creatures?
No, it's any permanent. We saw it bounce the Twisted Embrace in the last round.
Well, my mind's going straight to bouncing my Lord Conda to get back whatever's stolen in about 4 turns or something like that.
Yeah, we saw the Aviary mechanic. Yeah, it's return any permanent. Yes, he's just going to go for the straightforward face-up play here. Kill the biggest creature, and yes, he's gonna offer some creatures up here. Okay, so he's just gonna put the servo in front. And so he's drawn a band together here. Notably, he's not drawn land 7. So I think, honestly, he would have rather drawn land 7, but he has still next turn. He has a 5/3 in the meantime.
Grasping
But,
Thrall can come down now as a swamp in hand, so that puts the
oh,
pressure on.
which card does he have? Oh, the Grasping Throw.
Yeah,
he could also go for the play of Aviary Mechanic and rebuy the
this is
Saga.
a lethal swing. This is a lethal swing out from his point of view. So
Yeah, so he's gonna kill the he has to kill the Grasping Thrall here. Yeah, but he's still in trouble here. So he's drawn a Jukai Preserver, which is a 4 mana 3/3, puts a counter on something when it enters, or you could channel it to distribute a counter on 2 creatures. So he's just going to keep attacking here with the Moth.
Fire Mangler is an
Oh,
instant that
okay? So
buffs dying creature.
this is just going to actually make it lethal next turn. So there's 2 lethal threats now. So unless Jesse finds 2 answers, we're gonna be going to game 2 here. So I
Yeah,
don't
Jesse
know.
really needed that land to play this Hexproof Kraken
Yeah, but
on
even the
7 mana
Hexproof
there.
Kraken would still okay. All right, so
It taps down stuff.
he's drawn a card that will keep him alive, but it will not. Yeah, so he has the Centaur Nurture to get him up to 5 life, but he can now cast Cure Best of Seagull, but it's a little too late because of the flyers here.
Yeah, it keeps you pretty safe. The Kraken comes down with Hexproof and then taps down stuff for 2 turns and then steals the
Yeah,
thing. So he
but
really needed that 7th land
it's
there.
gonna be too late though. So he's just okay. So
Round of
he's actually engineered a way to do 5 damage here by rebuying the moths and then pumping it on the 2 power creature. So nice
Mhm.
little play there. Aviary Mechanic, a nice little role player. Just does so many different things. Really, really fun, interesting card. Yeah. So just he's gone for, like I said, Teamer. Very heavy green. Like when we saw his pool, he just had green forever, and he's playing 3 blue cards, and basically he's playing the gold rule cards that we saw. So double Savage Smash, double Hot Spring, couple of 4 drops. Yeah, so this is more or less what we suspected he was going to be running here.
So he's just inspecting the graveyard here, contemplating.
Yeah, Jesse has not done any sideboarding just yet.
Yeah, pretty quick game there. Even there was no Cure Best of Sea God shown, which is one thing. Jesse still
Yeah,
has up his sleeve if that ever comes up.
yeah. So Jesse has a little
Not
bit
sure
of
what.
removal there. We saw he has 2 band together, 2 Savage Smash, Master's Rebuke. Those all depend on you having creatures in play, which looks like his deck is good enough at doing. But just Sawyer got on board before Jesse could really get going, and then once Jesse got a board presence, Sawyer came down with the flyers and got in the last bit of damage. So it looks like Jesse's thinking about sort of streamlining the deck a little bit more. Yeah, so he took a moment to think before even looking at his sideboard, and it looks like he's gonna go for just Gruul here. He's gonna take out some of the slower cards, looking like he wants to take out the blue cards.
I couldn't tell exactly what Sawyer changed. It was only 1 or 2 cards, but he's ready to play again.
Okay, so it looks like he's gonna go for what we were another option that we were looking for Jesse when we were looking at his pool was some of the white cards. We saw he had some white cards, and we said maybe he's gonna go for Naya. It looks like he is thinking about doing that now. So instead of blue, he's gonna be playing white and red instead of blue and red.
I see. So no best this he got.
Nope. He's gonna go a little bit more streamlined. He's got some Selesnya gold cards. The Nahiri Storm of Stone. That's the one from War of the Spark. Conclave Tribunal. Heroic Reinforcements. Pledge of Unity, which puts a +1 counter on all your creatures. I believe it's instant speed. Oath of Ajani,
It seems
even.
electric.
Oath of Ajani, which is an enchantment that puts a +1 counter on each of your creatures. So I think he says, I need to be bigger. I need to be faster. I need to outpower him, and I can't be messing around with 7 drops, and I can't be messing around with these blue cards that are a little slow.
Wait, Oath of Ajani and Pledge of Unity.
Yep.
I think they're both Ajani themed buff your hero board cards from
Yeah,
different
well,
sets.
we don't speak of Ajani, the once great lion who's got corrupted by the
Completed.
Phyrexians.
Who knows what the story will bring? He'll
The
come back.
problem with what he's doing is that he does not have planes in his sideboard.
Uh-oh.
So,
Judge,
yeah.
is that what he's waiting for right now?
Yeah,
Trying to figure out.
maybe he's getting in touch with Sawyer and asking if they can just do a redo, like we do sometimes when people want to do some more heavy sideboarding.
I'm sure Sawyer wouldn't really mind, although if he wants to, perhaps he can deny it. Not
Yeah,
sure
no,
what the
I don't.
actual rule is.
Usually they're not in the spirit of doing that, but
No.
we'll see what happens. So yeah, Jesse did actually doesn't have he doesn't actually have anything in his sideboard. He was just searching cards up to add. But I believe basic lands are not eligible. Oh no, he does have his sideboard, but he just does not have the lands in it.
So since we got a
He was just
couple,
searching. He was searching his sideboard rather than scrolling through it. So
oh,
he does have his sideboard, but I suppose he did not put in the basic lands. In our format, because it's a challenge match, you have to put anything you want to put in your deck in your
yeah.
sideboard. Whereas if you're playing normal limited on Arena, he'll just let you add and take out basic lands
Yeah.
basically as you wish when you're playing draft and sealed. So it
So
looks
since we
like
have free
like
time,
I think they are going to restart the match here with Jesse down a game. Looks like he did concede, so they're going back to the main menu. Yes, and you were saying?
since we have minute free here that I just mentioned, Jordan won 2-0 over Caleb, so it's another semifinalist. And Daniel won 2-0 versus Johnny, so that's the other semifinalist.
Yeah,
The
that's
winner of that's going to
interesting.
be the
Yeah,
winner of this.
yeah. So Caleb had the Golgari deck that we saw, though he did lose to Jordan. So Jordan had that looked like it was like a Mardu possibly sacrifice type of thing with the active treasons, the
Yeah.
hidden stockpiles. So
Oh yeah.
if he does win, that'll be interesting to see. But also Daniel's deck will be interesting to see in the final. That was that blue deck, blue red with all those blue spells, draw spells, counter spells, bounce spells. Just gonna be so annoying to play against. Again, low on
And
creatures
yeah.
and win cons, but decks like that they just draw more cards and find a way to win. So we're going to be seeing one of those decks in the finals next round. So I think both of them will be very interesting to watch.
We'll mention that I think it's only Jesse and Jordan who are not out of the 8, not the past winners. So
Yeah, and we got
decent chance we'll get one.
all three of the California frisbee pack all in the top 4 now, or in the semis. And I'll just also with a moment to spare, big shout out to those guys out on the West Coast and Chris York for running the tournament. It is they started at 6:30 local time AM. So yeah. So if anybody here was thinking, wow, 9:30 is so early, they were starting at 6:30. So
Yeah.
yeah, these frisbee guys who made it to the top, made it to the final 2 teams in the Set Wars League with Jake as their teammate. Yeah, they they are performing like I mentioned on a really high
Who are the
level.
West Coasters?
Well,
It's
Jordan,
Sawyer.
Sawyer, Daniel G, they're all in the
I see.
they're all in the semis here. So we got 3 frisbees, we
I
got
see.
1 Jesse. So yeah, I am.
Well, just is coming from behind, is looking to come from behind to make it to the finals here.
Yeah, he definitely wants that win. He, like I said, he was with us in the early days, made 3 top 8s back then, was a constant high performer, took a little break, came back to the server for Planechase, and picked up right where he left off as far as making top 8s. So
He got his tags back for top eights too. I hear.
as he should.
Yeah. So almost ready for game 2 here.
Yeah, he still had to sideboard. Like he had to go in, he had to add the basic lands, and now he's doing the sideboarding now, like because he doesn't want to change his base deck for game for anyway. He's doing the sideboarding now, so we'll be there momentarily.
Oh, it looks like Kaido's Pursuit, the mind rot of Neo came in.
Okay, did that
Gives your
did,
ninjas
did that
menace or
have did,
something?
did that have an extra ability on it?
I think you're being sarcastic, but no, let's just say no.
It was just a mind rot. Okay.
Just mind rot. Oh, ninjas and rogues gain menace, not just
Oh,
ninjas.
that is an extra. Okay, that's something. It wasn't played very much.
No, not the kind of set that wanted a mind rot, it turns out.
Yeah, Neo was such a value format that Mind Rock could not keep up with the value that a lot of decks were generating. Yeah, so he's got a few more cuts here to make to get down to 60. He's at 64 right now, so he's just paring down his deck. He's taking his time. He we don't have timed rounds here, so he's not under the gun here. He's taking his time. It's we're in the top 8. It was 6 weeks of play, and now the draft, and now this. He wants to take his time. He wants to make the right includes here, and let's see what he comes up with. So, like I said, he cut a couple of the slower cards, 6 drops. The blue cards are out, white cards are in. He's just
Pretty sure
weighing his
the
options.
lapse time between the games is longer than the game so far. Might be a first.
It's
Might be a
okay.
first we see of all
This
future matches.
this just shows that he's put a lot of thought into this matchup. Seeing what Sawyer was playing, because Sawyer kind of had a little bit of an advantage because he was able to see some of Jesse's deck in the end of the last round, and Jesse didn't see his deck. So not that changed a lot, but he did at least have an idea of what he was running. So he's down to 61 now. So he got rid of a couple cards. He's down to his last cut here. Looking like it's going to be New Horizons as the last cut.
Little fixing spell, I think.
Yeah. As he figured,
That man.
it doesn't really impact the board. If it was like something like Gift of Paradise, that might be different because it gains 3 life. But this one it puts a counter on something.
Yeah, it's an enchant land.
He's
So
just
that came out.
yeah, he's just adjusting his basic land count here, and then I think we'll be good to go. Yeah, so he's just adjusted his basics here. He put in a couple more white sources and took out a couple red sources.
Here we go.
Yeah, so a bit of an overhaul here. Sawyer probably figured out there was an overhaul, but he doesn't, not having access to his knowing what's in his pool. He doesn't know exactly what was done, but once planes come out, he'll probably see that. So Jesse's got a hand that is going to rely heavily on drawing lands here. He's got a 2-drop. He's got Tamio safekeeping, and the rest of his hand is 4 drops. So what's
Can't look. You get the one lander off the top. Not a land. Sorry,
okay?
I couldn't.
So
I didn't even want to say
okay,
it.
so he kept a 1-lander on the draw. I guess he must have a bunch of 2-drops.
It's 3 2-drops. Sorry, 5 2-drops. Because he got 2 more.
Yeah, I mean, call me a bit safe, but I can't. I can't keep a 1-lander on even on the draw like that. So he's giving Jesse time. Jesse also missed his land drop, but he hit his 3rd one here. So his hand is all 4 drops plus a Tamio safekeeping. So just to go over quickly, he has the Outland Boar, which is the green-red-gold card. He has the Centaur Nurturer, which is the ramp spell, and he has all three of his Puma Outriders. So as soon as he gets a land, he's just going to start playing heavy dudes.
So you're about to find out why he kept
canopy.
the one-lander. There's a lot of safe life gain kind of cards in hand. Johnny's Pridemate, Daxos. Lampad's Vigil, a Cruel Celebrant, and a Child of Night. All these things are like kind of safe, even if you fall a bit behind by
Yeah,
missing
this
your
they're
four
gonna have a
drop.
hard time keeping up with these 4 drops. So Jesse needs his land right now. He did not find his land, so he's. I think if he drew a land here, the game is almost assuredly going to be his. Just because he's just gonna play 4 drop after 4 drop after 4 drop, and they're just gonna be so much bigger. But he's gonna have to settle for another dissident here that he drew off the top rather than a land.
Great draw here with another land. Johnny's Pride Mate's going to become a
Ooh,
3/3 in
okay,
short
yeah.
order.
This is actually a problem without removal. This Pride Mate is gonna be a little bit of an issue. So we see mana troubles
Interesting start of
plaguing
the
both
game.
players. Yeah. Well, interesting as in both players stumbled, but I could see
I
the allure of keeping a one lander here. I still probably can't bring myself to do it, but looks
believe he's
like he's
running
not.
25 lands.
All right. Oh, yeah. He really needed that land here. So he's got a Bamboo Grove Archer, which is another card he brought in from the sideboard. Um, you know, you see flyers, you bring in Bamboo Grove. Right, so here's just a string of lands here, and this is going to be all sorts of problems. I believe so. Jesse has a Crushing Canopy in his hand, which I believe kills a flyer or an enchantment. So he can kill the Daxos here, and he has to. He's drawn another 5 drop, so really unfortunate string of draws here. And he is
It's
playing, and he is playing. I believe
yeah,
he's playing 25 or lands. Jesse is, if I recall, from looking at his mana base. Either 24 or 25. So he really should be able to hit those lands here. He's not skimped on the land count.
incredible synergy with this Pride Mate here. I see why you kept the one lander too, because the Carrion Imp can even grow the Ajani's as well. I don't think Ajani's wants to attack this turn because it would die.
No, he wants to get it out of range or have a removal. Right? He doesn't. He doesn't want to trade off his Johnny's Pride Mate for one creature.
There is an
Oh,
Investor's Zeal, which I didn't mention, so that would be a good trade in
so
that
yeah,
situation.
that's a +2/+2, right?
Yeah, so carrying it after combat kind of shows that there's a pump in hand that he did in this order.
Yeah, like I said, this was
Especially
just
on
like this
Sure
hand was
notice.
yeah, and he's still not got the land. This hand was just one land away from probably taking over the game with Sawyer stumbling on lands, and now Jesse's discarding to hand size. It's like yeah, this is a bizarre turn of events here.
Can you imagine
Jesse
that
kept the two
Sawyer?
lander with a handful of 4 drops, so there was a fail right there, and obviously Sawyer keeping one lander, there's a fail right there, and Sawyer came out of it before Jesse did, even though Sawyer had to discard to hand size a couple times. So we
Can you
see,
imagine that
yeah,
Sawyer's ahead on lands now?
yeah, this is not likely. I feel like Sawyer's got all the lands he needs, right?
Yeah, you can use Lampad to stack something here.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a great target, but it would grow your Johnny's Pride Mate twice, I believe. Yeah, after Krill Celebrant comes down, which I
Oh,
didn't
Cruel
mention. He's
Celebrant.
hovering right
Okay,
now.
yeah, that's going to.
Yeah.
Okay, Cruel Celebrant coming down is going to be a very big cause for concern here.
The only thing is, he has a Herald of the Fair, which is a 3 drop, I believe a 3/2. It's the only thing he's been contemplating besides that.
Yeah, and I think the only thing Jesse has in his deck that can deal with a creature as big as a Johnny's Pride Mate right now. I mean, he has fight spells, but you need a big creature. He has a Conclave Tribunal that he's splashing, but other than that, this cat is ruling the board right now.
Herald of the Fair gives a creature +1/+1, just very simple card.
Yep, Herald of the Fair. Yeah, it gives a creature +1/+1 till end of turn when it comes in. So attacking with Pride Mate and Imp. So clearly he's representing a trick here because he's attacking a 2/3 into a 3/3 reach. And I mean, he
Yeah, same as
represented he
last turn.
represented something last turn as well. So, but Jesse does have a card he can cast, 2 cards he can cast. He has Tameo Safekeeping, and he has Integrity Intervention, which is the split card. But you could cast the first side for just +2/+2 for 1 white mana, which he's going to do here. So what's Sawyer's response to this?
Gonna be sacking it to grow the Pride
Yeah,
Mate.
that's
I believe, yeah, Krill Celebrant's going to come up afterward, which isn't the order you wanted to do that in, but we
well,
didn't know the trick.
there's a
Yeah.
value to leaving up multiple mana here.
Of course, of course.
Yeah, so now if even Jesse draws the land, he's just going to play 4 drops that are smaller than this Pride Mate. This Cruel Celebrant is just going to make blocking a complete nightmare here. And
Synergy.
he's drawn his 4th land, but not in the way that you really want it, which is through the district guide.
The district guide.
Yeah, really great
Yeah,
card. Not the card you want to see here. You want to see your untapped lands. You could start casting big things. Um, so let's see.
meanwhile, Lampad is doing damage as well as Krill Celebrant will be doing. So clock's pretty
Yeah,
quick.
Herald of the Fair. When it enters the battlefield, yeah. So this guy, interestingly, I noted about that creature when they first printed that it actually has no creature. It has no second creature type. It's just a human. So apparently, the hype man does not have another job. He's just a hype
It'll
man.
get it'll
He's
get
just
oracled someday.
he's just drawing people into the fair, and then he just goes home, I think. But he did what he needed to do. He got that Pride Mate all hyped up to deal an extra damage, which got chump blocked. And he's going to flood the board here with a bunch of creatures. But, you're the green deck. You are supposed to have the biggest creatures, and that is not the case here.
Clock is fairly short here with 2 pings
Yeah.
when you activate Lampad. So
Yeah, so now that they're
there's
even
only a
on
mentor to
mana,
make.
Jesse does have more cards in hand, but he's behind on life here. So what's
Mentor
Sawyer
the
got
Meek's
here?
coming out.
Okay, that's another good
It's
one.
just a land in this. Yeah.
Okay, so here comes the 6/6. I think he's offering up I guess he's offering up the trade, but Jesse's just gonna hang back for a moment here. Gonna just keep playing his 4 drops. All right,
Yeah, and let's see here.
he's drawn a very interesting card. I don't know if he's gonna have a chance to deploy it, but he drew Clothis Design,
I
5
don't
and
know
a
what that is.
green, 6 mana sorcery. Your creatures get +X/+X until end of turn, where X is your devotion to green.
I remember that one. It's the big
Yeah, was
over. I
not
don't know
played very
the
much, but
sorcery that grows everything.
I don't believe it gives trample.
I'll look it up actually.
Yeah, so what's interesting is he has Nylea's Forerunner in his hand, which is a creature that gives everything trample. But the thing is, he needs to survive here, and with the Lampad and the Cruel Celebrant offering like those double triggers, surviving is going to be kind of difficult. But if he's
It
going
does
to pull it
not give
out,
trample.
yeah. So he has Nylea's Forerunner in his hand, which does give trample to everything. So that could be a way to steal the game. So he just
Wow.
played another Pima
Yeah.
here. But yeah, the hype man is getting cashed in here, the Herald of the Fair.
Bad
Yeah,
news for Jesse is he's got a chump block now
2 counters,
with
two life. This is quite the little machine that Sawyer's put together here. So I could see the allure of keeping the one lander. It almost didn't work out, but Jesse could not get his 4 drops into play. He got up to 3 lands and then could not find that 4th one in time to take over the board. Because, like I said, if he was just playing Pima into Outland Boar, into Nylea's Forerunner, while
yeah, of
Sawyer was
course.
still setting up his board, he would have run away with it.
Would have been over there.
No, we got a
So the
heyday.
good news for Jesse is Sawyer is getting slightly flooded now with another swamp in hand. So if he has what he needs to win on board right now, which is good for Sawyer. But we'll
Yeah, so he has the
see if
Clothis,
Jesse
which
can
right now
find
gives
anything.
+6/+6 to everything. He does need a 6 land, but he can play the Centaur Nurturer, which can give him life and mana. He also has a
That will be
Tameo
needed for
Safekeeping
him.
in his hand, which does gain 2 life on top of all the other things it does, giving him permanent hexproof and indestructible.
In that case, it's looking good for Jesse. It's just
Yeah,
he Sawyer needs to find something if he's gonna outrace that. He's got a
yeah,
lot of life coming.
yeah. He does have the life gain here, but it's not drawing him any cards. It's just sort of he has damage on board, but I don't believe it's lethal damage on board, right? Is it?
Uh,
Sacks it, it's
Actually, we should think
2.
about that.
Sacks it, it's down to 3. And then
Yeah,
he can put him to what?
I
1?
think he could put him to 2. 2 double triggers and a single trigger would have meant
Well,
5
I believe
damage.
Cruel Celebrant and Lampad both count themselves.
I have to look that up. But
So
yeah,
they may
Lampad
actually he
can.
may actually
Yeah.
have very close to lethal here.
Oh, you're right. They both do count their self. You can sack
So is
Lampad
this
to itself for
actually? Let
the
me like this might actually be lethal.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, that is 7, I think.
Yeah. So if he sacks the Mentor, that's puts him down to 5. If he sacks the Primate, that puts him down to 3. If he sacks the Cruel Celebrant, that puts him down to 1. And then the Lampad sacks itself, right?
Yeah, 2, 2, 2, and 1 is 7.
Yeah.
This is crazy end to the game, though.
However,
I wasn't even
here's the
considering
thing.
that. I thought Quill Sullivan was other.
So he's going to do it in response to the life gain here,
Safekeeping.
but Jesse has the
Oh no.
safekeeping, which is going to
Oh
actually
no.
give him
What
the
a
2
game this
life.
was.
So let's see if Sawyer goes all the way for it. It looks like he's going to go all the way here. Yeah, he's just gonna go for it before he can gain the 3 life, and this is going to be tragic here for Sawyer, I think.
What a unique game.
Yeah, wow. So yeah,
The one open green.
so basically while Jesse was casting his Centaur Nurture, I was figuring out that this would get him to 7, but we know the safekeeping here, and he basically had to fire it off in response to the Centaur. So it looks like things are going to work out here.
Hilariously, the life gain on Tamio's safekeeping, which you don't usually use it for that, is what's making the difference here. 1 green mana open.
Yeah.
Usually you don't. Usually you just hate this
So
card because it's like, oh, 1 green. Do you have
Sawyer
it?
just sacked his board to put his opponent to 2, and now he's going to gain 3 life, and he has no board. So kind of a yikes there. He went all in. He said, "What for one green or 1 red? What can do this?" And the answer is
He can
Tamiyo's
swing for a
safekeeping.
million now, as we know.
Yeah, he has the 1-shot kill here. He even has a 10-10 defender. But yeah,
What
very
was
fun end to that game there. Sawyer thought it through. He said, "What can you have for 1 mana? It's green or red. Obviously, red's not going to have life gain. But what can you have for 1 green mana that gains life?" And there's, I don't think, very much in the game that does. In white, you get some little combat tricks sometimes, like +2/+2 gain some life for 1 mana. Those are cards that we've seen. But you don't see it in green, but except for this Tamio safekeeping. So again,
that wasn't just a great end.
Usually we use it for the hexproof or the indestructible, but here we saw it for the life gain. So
That wasn't just a great end. The beginning of that game was tense too, with all the land issues. One lander missed. What did you just started the game discarding 3 cards or something?
yeah, I would say the beginning of the game
Here,
was quite a mess for both players, but they found their way to the mana that they needed, and Sawyer did the math and he said this adds up to 7. I'm gonna go for it. 1 mana open. Let's do it.
very unique game.
Yeah.
Well, we waited for the sideboarding for quite a while before that.
So
Let's see.
I can assure you
What
that
happens.
with one green mana open, Sawyer will not be doing that again.
Oh, so unfortunate.
Yeah,
Yeah, so Krill Celebrant and the Lampad both use themselves as
yeah. Because a
to
lot of the
trigger
times those
themselves.
creatures either can't sack themselves or don't see themselves dying. But both those cards actually they can sack. The Lampad sacks itself, and the Celebrant sees itself dying. So he did the math. He got to 7. He said, "I have to do this before he gains 3 life." And
And we got it all on camera.
Tamio kept Jesse safe there in by gaining 2 life. So I think Jesse is still thinking about sideboarding here, seeing if he wants to bring in anything else. He did see some more of Sawyer's deck there, some more of the life gain synergies and the sack synergies. In game 1, he just sort of saw, flying and some removal. In this game, he saw a little bit more of the synergies that Sawyer has available to him, which quite scary. Like we saw there, just
That was a
in
great
most
part of
situations, there's not a card that gets you out of that, but we saw the safekeeping.
that. That was a great part of the reason why he kept that one lander on the draw is because of the Primate with all those little life gains coming afterwards.
Yes, looks like he's bringing in a
It
reach. Thinking
worked
about
out.
bringing in a reach creature here. It's a High Spire Artisan from Kaladesh. It has reach and fabricate. It's a 3 mana 0/3. So it could be a one
Oh,
four,
it's a
or it could spawn a 1/1 token and be a 0/3.
Yeah, a lot of sets have a 3 mana 1/4 reacher in some respect. Still waiting for this game three. That was very exciting.
So it looks like he's thinking about cutting a land on the draw, which after last game, I could not bring myself to cut a land after
Mhm.
needing that fourth land for so many turns. I know on the draw, it's you start with an extra card, but I would be too traumatized by missing my fourth land drop so many times to cut a land. But he has gone down to 24 for this game.
The district guide bailed them out almost.
Well, it was the Tamio safekeeping that kept him alive there.
Yeah,
Right, so
that
he's
was the
got
difference.
another two lander here, but on the draw it's a little more keepable. He does have a two drop to play in Jukai Trainee, and he has a Centaur Nurture for when he gets to that fourth land, and he's got a third land, so looks like he'll be able to play Magic a little bit more freely, as will Sawyer. It looks like. What does he have in
Sawyer was
hand?
about to play the Cruel Celebrant on curve, but just drew into Lazotep Reaper. It's also a final payment, which goes well with this board, with what he's got
Yeah,
going on right now.
absolutely, and
A Child of Night and a Repel the Vile.
but no land.
Carrion Imp. Carrion Imp as well. No land.
Okay, so another low land count hand here, and as good.
There's a third one.
I think as good as Lazotep Reaver was against Tony's Boros deck, it's sort of the green decks are not that concerned about a Lazotep Reaver. Like even the Jukai trainee attacks past it, and now we're getting a Pima Outrider coming into play on curve. Looks like.
Playing a 4 drop on curve is what Jesse wants to do for sure.
Oh yeah, he is counting on his four drops to do the heavy lifting in this deck. So in hand he has a Jukai Preserver, he has a Centaur Nurture, and then he has two of those go wide Selesnya cards that we mentioned before, the Oath of Ajani and the Pledge of Unity. So he can get his
All
board
Johnny.
real big. At which point, all these little creatures on Sawyer's side are not going to cut it. But you said he has final payment, right? Which can destroy any creature.
At instant speed by either giving
Yeah.
up a creature, 5 life, or an enchantment.
Yeah, you sacrifice a creature, an enchantment, or you pay 5 life.
So 2 go wide payoffs. Well, I guess that makes your fabricates a bit easier to determine what you should do with it.
Yeah, I think most of the
Final
time in this
payment
deck he's fabricating 1/1s rather than +1 counters.
looks like final payment sacking the zombie army
Yeah,
to drain
gets
and
a
kill
little
the 3/3.
trigger. No Tamio safekeeping this time.
I'm sure
Yep.
he was thinking about it.
All right, so it looks like he's gonna play a Centaur Nurture, which allows him to potentially play multiple spells next turn.
It's concerning. Off the top is the swamp, so Carrion Imp's gonna come out.
Okay, so Carrion Imp's gonna peck in for a little bit of damage here, but it's not going to make Jesse too concerned yet. All right, so he's drawing a land here, so he can play his Dissident, he could play his Jukai Preserver, and the next turn he could put up 2+1 counters on everything.
It's amazing. Getting those 2 cards from complete different sets with Ajani themes.
Yeah, so this sideboard, this sideboard plan, it looks to be a little bit more robust against what Sawyer's doing than these blue cards, which are a little slow, and just like took out 6 drops too, like green and red, just cards that were slower. So here's a 4/5,
Yeah.
presumably out of the sideboard here.
Yeah, and that's exactly kind of what he wants. Although everything's getting buffed by +2/+2, it's not enough, right? He's gonna have some nice attackers anyway past the 5.
So let's see if he decides he wants to attack. Okay, so he's going to attack. He's not going to attack with the Nurture because he needs the white mana for the Pledge of Unity. I believe Pledge of Unity has an extra ability aside from putting a counter on everything.
It affects planeswalkers. That's what all the pledges do, I believe. Oh no, that's the oath. Oh, you gain life from Pledge of Unity. That's what it is.
Oh, you gain a life for each creature or something like that?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
The
Yeah,
oath is just
The
a
Oath of
counter.
Ajani, I believe, says you can activate your planeswalkers. Anyway, it's something. It has an extra ability about planeswalkers, but he's playing it
It is.
for the anthem.
It cheapens your planeswalkers.
Right.
One.
Very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was confusing with Oath of Gideon, which I believe your planeswalkers enter with an extra loyalty. But yeah, so he's lining
It's
up some
still what a
blocks here.
turn.
I think
It's
this
still quite a
is
turn though.
okay. So he's gonna give +2/+2, presumably to the Dissident, and then he's gonna put a counter on everything. So, oh no, he did not. He's just okay.
Figured it was not needed.
Yeah, he said, I'm already winning this combat. It's fine. Like I'm throwing away. I'm trading what the servo, and all those
It's
creatures are
looking very
much
good for
bigger.
Jesse.
Yeah, so really good sideboarding
Um,
plan. Like like these players are just thinking at a different level, right? They're thinking, he has this sideboard plan for if he plays against small creatures, a deck that goes wide. Um, he said, I'm going to be more robust. I don't need this slow blue cards, even though Cure Best to Sea Guard is like a insane bomb. He said, I'm going to do this instead. I'm going to be more robust. I'm going to make my creatures big. I'm gonna go wide, and I'm going to overwhelm Sawyer's little creatures here. He's lined up a double block here.
Plan for Sawyer right here is repel the vials being held up for whatever it needs to be used for.
I think it's gonna kill either the preserver or the dissident once the Pledge of Unity resolves. Yeah, so
Yeah,
this is
saving two
just
creatures.
yeah. So he does have the Tamio safekeeping here. So this is all working out here. He doesn't eat both creatures, but still he's just put him in a really bad position. He's got all of his creatures are gigantic. Um, Two of them are lethal. And Sawyer has just these piddly little creatures in play. So I think Jesse basically he just went through with his game plan exactly as he intended to do. Like this is exactly what he wanted to do when he went into the sideboard plan, and we see why. Just
Sawyer might have made his least favorite card of all time set with Tamio's safekeeping in
yeah,
this
Tamio's
game here.
safekeeping is going to be giving him some nightmares here. I think. Yeah, so we just got two chump blocks here. Jesse's going to gain 2 life to keep him above water, but all these cards are lethal. So I don't believe Sawyer has access to a board wipe. Um,
I stopped her arrest.
but
He doesn't
but
have enough
each
mana
but
to set a
each player
blocker.
gets control of each permanent they own. So
Yeah.
yeah, so like I said, really really shrewd move. Sideboarded into this deck, and it did exactly what he intended. So we're going to see Jesse in the finals. So congratulations to him, and we'll be back to watch him play for the crown in a little bit.